Hola mi gente bella, ¿qué tal el día de hoy? Estamos en otro capítulo de Vampyr. Teníamos tiempo que no realizábamos, continuábamos con lo que es los capítulos de Vampyr, pero ya ahorita estoy retomando de nuevo. Habíamos quedado en el capítulo anterior de que él ya fue al club de los vampiros, y ahora yo estuve farmeando un poco. Tenemos que hablar con todas las personas de West End y ya varias personas que tengo por acá ya las he curado. Ya tengo el estado de salud de algunos lugares sanos. Aquí está grave, me faltan estos dos por encontrar. Y ya solamente, a ver, tengo nada más que se volvió a resfriar. Este se resfría a cada rato. Ok, encontré a este calvito que ahorita vamos a ir para hablar con él. Ok, y así continuar con lo que es la historia. Bueno, he estado haciendo algunas cosillas por ahí, buscando para hacer medicinas y todo eso. Y ya tengo más o menos para curar y hacer algunas cuestiones. Y ya llegué al level 24. Ok, y también tenemos enemigos muy fuertes también. Pero ya... Tenemos a varios vampiros que están ahorita, son muy fuertes y que están por ahí regados, pero poco a poco los vamos venciendo. Se me complica cuando son de dos, de verdad que sí. Uy, pero me agarró. Y entonces ¿qué cosa? No lo puedo matar. Ok, ya, listo. Ahí como que se pegó en la pared y no podía aturdirlo. Bueno, vamos a continuar la historia. Vamos a ir donde está el calvito, porque seguramente muchas personas no saben dónde está ese calvito y no lo van a encontrar tan fácil. Uy, pero no puedo. Pensabas que me ibas a agarrar así tan fácil. Pues no. Listo. Y ahora tengo más poder. Lo dejamos por acá. Agarramos lo que traía. Vamos a ir a curarle la gripe otra vez al tipo que está por acá. Creo que era por aquí o por allá. Creo que es por acá abajo. Sí, por acá abajo. Y estos dos siempre están peleando. A ver, el otro que está siempre enfermo está por acá. Aquí está. ¿Va a curarlo?
Good evening, Benjamin. Can I help you?
I'm afraid not, Mr. Reed.
You don't seem well, Benjamin.
No, thank you.
No quiere que lo cure ahorita. Ok.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir.
Vamos a ver la población. Él, sí, Richard. Pero no quiere que lo cure ahorita. Vamos a dejarlo a él ahí. Vamos a ir a donde está el pelón que les dije y a conversar con él. Tienen que aumentar su nivel de cautivar porque él creo que es nivel 2, 3, por ahí está. Ok. Va por acá, ya toda esta gente ya las curé. Cuando dejan un lugar que quede muy grave o empiezan a desaparecer personas, ¿ok? Empiezan a irse o son convertidas. Se convierten en vampiros o en scratch, como lo llaman acá. Esto lo vamos a rodear. Uy. Ya estos vampiros ya no son tan molestos, pues. Con el nuevo poder que tengo, los mato rapidito. Ok, la persona que le digo está por... Sí, está por acá. Está por acá. Vamos a ir a su casa. Uy, no lo había visto. Está por aquí. ¿Era por aquí? No. Era por acá. Sí, por acá. Es por acá. Por aquí creo que hay un vampiro. Míralo allá arriba. Ahí está escondido. Míralo ahí. Pero no, venimos para acá. Esta es la puerta que tienen que tocar.
Good evening, Mr. Swanborough.
Is it you, Dr. Reed? Please come in. Wandering in this part of town at night, you're either brave or a fool.
No es sencillo conseguirlo, hay que estar como que tocando, viendo qué puerta abre para poderlo conseguir, ¿no? Para poderlo ubicar.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Él es un ciego, para el que no sabe, él es ciego.
And what else have you learned about me, Mr. Swanborough?
I know you assisted Professor Carell in France, and that you invented a new blood transfusion method based on his work.
Yes. Those were frustrating but exciting days. I loved it.
Yes, the thrill of research and discovery. This is what drives people like us, Dr. Reed. Oh, how I envy you.
Does someone take care of you in this isolated place?
My sister Loretta and I have our daily routine. Every morning and evening she comes by so we can talk and eat. Then she leaves and I stay.
Do you not appreciate your sister's visits?
Loretta is the best and worst thing that happened to me, and I believe she could say the same thing about me.
Where does your sister go?
Well, let's just say, she earns enough money for us both.
What's so amusing about that?
I won't hide the truth from you. Loretta sells a fake miracle elixir to the sick people of Whitechapel.
A Loretta es la que vende las pociones esas que supuestamente son milagrosas. Conseguimos una carta donde ella le dice que donde se disculpa porque al parecer por culpa de ella o de hacer las pociones el hermano quedó ciego, ¿no? Entonces aquí por eso es que esta pista se abrió, donde la culpa que siente su hermano. Vamos a ver, su vida en Londres.
What do you think about this part of town?
I was raised here and I suppose it feels like home. You grew up in this part of town too, did you not?
Yes, I was born a few streets away.
A small world, is it not? Did you ever imagine that my mother was your neighbor all that time? That you could have met her in a dark alley at night?
You won't trick me twice, young lady. We both know Lady Ashbury never hunts or attacks prey at random.
Come on, Doctor. Don't tell me you never thought about that possibility. Her fangs on your neck. Oh, are you blushing, Dr. Reed?
Is there something that's bothering you?
Too much selfishness and individualism for my taste. Even when there was no epidemic.
Even if that's partly true, may I remind you that many charitable institutions are financed by the selfish and filthy rich.
I suppose you're right.
Exacto.
But society must reform and renew itself, or we are all done for.
Ok. Opinión rara.
What are you doing out here?
You mean, what do I do outside at night, since I am a woman? Let me ask you a question, sir. Would you ask the same question of a man?
Actually, yes. I ask the same question to everyone who dares to go outside at night, considering the risks.
Exacto.
Well, if you must know, I campaign for the right to vote for all women. Why should I wait to the age of 30 years when men can vote at 21?
Are you a suffragette, then? Oh, you really are Elizabeth's girl. Without a doubt.
All adult women have the right to vote in the US, in New Zealand, and in Australia. But women here can't vote unless they are property owners.
No need to convince me, Miss Charlotte. I have shared your opinion for a long time. Even before I met Emmeline Pankhurst.
Really? Oh. Now I see why my mother appreciates you so much. Too bad there aren't more men like you in the vicinity.
How are the locals reacting to your claims?
People here can't wait for a wall to be built to isolate the West End from the rest of town. That's how progressive they are. If this happens, Emily and I will blow it up.
Explosives are very dangerous, young lady. And who is this Emily?
She is my best friend, and a suffragette too. She was supposed to campaign with me tonight, but hasn't turned up.
Have you any reason to be worried about her?
Recently, Emily started to believe in... well, she got interested in vampires. I'm
Okay.
afraid she might be in trouble.
Let me guess. You spoke to her about us, didn't you? Despite your mother's warning. I think I should try to find your friend.
Oh, that would be top-notch. I can tell you where she might have gone. You have my thanks, Dr. Reed. And please, don't tell my mother.
Ok. Una nueva investigación.
Tell me about your adoption.
What do you want to know?
Who are your real parents?
Elizabeth Ashbury is my real mother. She raised me and has taken care of me all my life. I have no idea who my progenitors are or were.
Do you live with her?
I still spend a lot of time in my mother's mansion, but I have my own house now. I have a life to live, you see. And one day, I'll have my death to face.
How did you meet Lady Ashbury?
First, I was an orphan in the institution for girls she manages in the West End. When I was 10, she adopted me, and I have lived with her ever since.
Did you know she was a vampire when she picked you?
The correct word is Ekon, Doctor. And no, I had no idea why my mother only showed up at night. She told me everything when I turned 16, though I suspected the truth for a long time before that.
Sonido.
What exactly has your mother told you about me?
Your name and profession, obviously, and the mystery about your maker. I'm sorry to hear about what happened to your sister, sir. Mother says it was not your fault.
Does it not scare you to know what I am? What your mother is?
Why should it? My mother is the most compassionate woman. Must I be wary of her, Dr. Reed? Or you?
Of course not. You have nothing to fear from me, or your mother.
Good to know. And don't worry, my mother told me everything I need to know about vampire tricks, their nature as well as features.
Your mother is not like any other vampire I've met.
I believe she thinks the same about you, Dr. Reed.
La madre ha hablado bien del doctor Reed. Ok, preguntas personales.
Do you know why Lady Ashbury chose you to become her daughter?
No, I don't. Each time I ask her that question, she smiles and says it's precisely because I dare to ask such questions.
Do you ever regret that she chose you?
Of course not. Though I often wonder if she adopted others before me. If so, where are they buried? How is it for them to pass through life with a never-aging mother?
Exacto. Al no envejecer debe tener bastantes hijos adoptados.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
A few days ago, I spotted a strange house while campaigning for women's suffrage. Awful smell. No answer when I knocked.
Where is it?
It's the Mullaneys, a nice family who live in a big house near the park in the eastern part of this neighborhood.
Ok. ¿Queda alguna pista? No, queda ninguna pista por acá.
Goodbye, Charlotte. Give my best regards to your mother when you see her.
She's been quite busy these last few nights. I suspect you may see her before me.
Porque lo está esperando. Ok, vamos a seguir por acá. Entremos a este local.
The night is so peaceful.
Good evening, sir. Please forgive me for disturbing you. I'm a doctor.
I never judge a man by his title, but by his attitude. And you are not disturbing me at all. I am Calhoun Russell, and I welcome you.
Well, I must admit it's good to receive a warm welcome for once. I'm Jonathan Reed.
Welcome, Dr. Reed. Welcome to my humble shop.
How is the situation in this part of town?
Life is good and peaceful. We're lucky to live in such an era of progress and wonders.
Are you not concerned about the epidemic?
Oh, I'm sure the authorities would take the appropriate measure if the danger were that high.
You cannot expect the newspapers to expose the truth while the war is still raging.
Exacto.
I can assure you that the situation here is desperate.
Well, that's news then. But I can't believe that things are that bad. Are you sure you're not exaggerating a bit? For the thrill of it?
What can you tell me about this place?
I recently found the best steak and kidney pie in the city. I'd be glad to share the address if you want.
La comida es lo único que le interesa.
Finding a good restaurant. Is that really all that interests you?
Oh, I have many passions, but nothing brings me ecstasy like subtle and exquisite flavors from my teeth to my belly.
Huh.
I must confess, I have quite specific tastes when it comes to nutrition.
Really? Well, I'm always happy to try new exotic meals. If you ever find an intriguing table, please share the address.
Una nueva investigación.
Is it not a little too late to be trading?
On the contrary, it is the perfect hour. Believe me, my friend, it is always at night that you meet the most fascinating characters.
But what about the epidemic? The bombs and raids? And all the random violence?
Please, sir, this is London, England. We will prevail. And if a bomb must fall on my shop, then I'll be there to hear it falling.
So you prefer to work at night?
Oh, I also enjoy a sunny day like everybody else. But the night always has a certain je ne sais quoi of its own.
Okay.
Do you have any family nearby?
Not since my parents died. I'm London's lone gourmet.
Really? But you seem to be such a pleasant and sociable fellow.
I'm afraid the real hedonist has to be sometimes. I discovered ecstasy as a solitary pleasure, but it does not mean it can't ever be shared.
London's Lone Gourmet. What a strange title.
I used that name in my early years when I was a food critic, and I kept it.
Atrás. Atrás.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
Well, not really. Wait, now that you mention it, I don't see the McPhersons in my favorite restaurants. They love delicate meals too, you understand.
Thank you. It may be nothing, but I'll investigate anyway. Where do they live?
They have a house in the southern part of the district, somewhere north of the railway bridge. There is a courtyard, if I remember rightly.
Vamos a ver qué tiene
I may
para
have a look
vender.
at your goods, Mr. Russell.
Veamos qué tiene por acá. Tengo 897. Y esto es solución, coedina, opio. Ah, mira, gatillo eficaz. Oh, pero cuesta 60. Voy a comprarle uno y uno de estos. Engotamina. Un poquito de opio. Cuesta 15. Quinina. Esencia. Ok. Creo que con eso estaría bien. A ver qué tiene por acá, sí. Oh, tiene una caja fuerte. Ah, pero está cerrada.
Where shall I eat tonight?
Vamos a hablar con esta
Remember,
persona.
don't let any strange...
Good evening, sir. May I have your attention, please?
Come on, Johnny. Don't you recognize your oldest friend?
Clarence. Clarence Crossley. How are you? My God. So you survived the war too. So sorry I didn't recognize you at first.
I almost didn't recognize you either. War does that to men, I heard. In my case, it was true, for I witnessed the horror that lies underneath.
When did you escape the war and return to London?
You know what's funny? I almost never think about the war. Not anymore. I'm involved in another kind of battle now.
I know what you mean. I haven't had much time to think about the war either since my return.
Of course. With the epidemic, I bet you've been busy as well.
Claro.
Forgive me,
Ocupado.
Johnny, I didn't want to sound selfish.
What is this new battle?
I saw terrible things during the war. Horrors I thought I'd forget. They're here too. They're everywhere. Vampires.
Oh. Y no se da cuenta que el amigo es vampiro. Cuentas personales.
How is your wife, Venus?
We've spent so much time away from each other. And so many things have happened.
But you're alive. You returned in one piece and you have a family. How many soldiers can say the same?
Believe me, it's not quite that simple. Unlike you, I'm not the man I used to be.
Is everything all right at home? Surely Venus was relieved to see you return from France in one piece.
Have you forgot what people are like in this part of town, Johnny? Venus fears for our family reputation. Now her husband has become the village idiot.
Wow.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Can you help me?
Infection is everywhere these days. But if you ever go to the park near that swanky house belonging to... Ladies,
Yes? What about the Mullaneys? What about their house?
not enough noise for a big family with children. Not enough movement. Closed doors. What is going on in there? I wonder.
Ok.
You need some rest, Clarence. You should try to sleep.
Exacto.
Women die too in this war.
Y esta está aquí pegando gritos.
Women's right to vote is only the first step.
Todas las mujeres tienen que votar.
Support the
Vamos a ver
equality.
qué hay más por acá. A ver qué hay por aquí.
Is there anything to connect me to this?
Y aquí hay otra persona.
We meet again,
Ah,
Mr.
este fue el
Kimura,
que rescaté.
in a more peaceful situation.
Dr. Reed. Still visiting London by night?
We must both be nocturnal animals, you and I. After your captivity, I thought you'd be more cautious.
Breathing the cold night air helps calm my mind, sir. I've had the most frightening nightmares since I escaped that filthy jail.
How is the situation in the West End?
I've heard rumors about armed men patrolling and fighting infected citizens in these very streets. I was lucky they didn't shoot me when I was abducted.
Oh, pues está-
May I ask
Ah,
you what
exacto.
you do
Él
for a
estaba
living, Mr.
secreto.
Kimura?
I was a landlord. A wealthy one. And not a very kind one, I realized recently.
Why this sudden epiphany? Is it because of your near-death experience?
I was already feeling nostalgic about Weymouth, my hometown. With recent events, I'm thinking about going back there.
Ah, ok. Una pista.
Why are you so nostalgic for your hometown, Tadao?
I was focused so much on making money, I almost forgot that my relatives and friends are threatened by this epidemic.
Have you heard anything from your family?
I was not only a bad landlord, I was also a bad husband. I've not seen my wife and son for years. Busy, busy, busy.
At least now you're ready to go back and see them. But don't be surprised if your son bears a grudge, sir.
You make it sound like you suffered from an absent father yourself, Dr. Reed. Well, I'll keep your warning in mind.
Claro.
Have you no friends at all?
Over the years, I'm afraid my greed turned me into my friend's adversary, while I became friends with my professional rivals.
Those you grew up with didn't share your views on money and success.
Would you believe I was once a member of poetry circles and an astronomy club? We were young, such joyful dreamers then. But I stopped laughing long ago.
Ok.
Can you change? And is it what you really want? If so, it must come from within, not without.
I've seen what an altruistic gesture can do. Nothing forced you to save me, Dr. Reed, but you did. I will follow your example in these matters from now on.
There is no need to thank me. Rescuing a London citizen should not be out of the ordinary, though I'm afraid it may appear so in these difficult times.
You did not only rescue me, you fought for me. You put your life in danger to save me. That's quite extraordinary.
How will you cope if you're attacked again?
I don't know. I've heard about these men and women who patrol the West End every night, chasing criminals like my abductor. Maybe I should join them.
Wow.
What can you tell me about your abduction? If you really want to know, I was locked in that building for 3 or 4 days. My jailer was insane, mumbling about sacrifice and voices.
And why didn't he sacrifice you?
That was the weirdest part. He claimed to spill blood was not enough. It had to be done when some stars were aligned.
Which stars?
That's the whole point. He wanted me to talk to him about some Red Queen configuration or constellation. I've never heard of such an astronomical term.
Okay.
What did he say about voices?
He constantly whined about the voice of his master, ordering him to do terrible things. He wanted to silence the voice by offering blood. My blood.
Su sangre. Creo que ya su vida en Londres. Ah, ok.
Tell me, Tadao, why was your abductor so interested in your passion for astronomy?
I dunno. We met a few times at the Royal Greenwich Observatory. He seemed to share my hobby. Then he invited me to his house and locked me in.
Yes, astronomy is a fascinating subject. When I was a child, my mother bought a small telescope for my sister and I. We spent many a pleasant evening stargazing.
Stars are not just dots in the sky, Doctor. They are the key to our understanding of the cosmos. They remind us how insignificant we are.
You're right. But children love magic and stories. I remember our mother told us constellations have the power to protect us.
Protection by the light of the stars. That's sweet. You remember the name of these constellations?
Pegasus. It was the constellation my mother liked the most.
Memory's a strange thing. I can recite without hesitation the names of the 88 constellations. Yet I barely remember my own childhood.
Did he fake his interest in astronomy to get close to you?
No. In his madness, he spoke about a blood sacrifice to be made to his master when the stars aligned to a specific configuration.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Kimura. Take care.
Creo que hay que buscar ciertas pistas por ahí.
To live an ordinary life.
Okay. Esta puerta está abierta. ¿Y hacia dónde va esto? Ah, mira. Va acá, llega a este punto, ¿ves? Acá creo que no he pasado. Acá se están cayendo a tiro. Ah, sí, por acá se están cayendo a tiro por acá. Vamos por este lado. Para ver mejor el... Esta es la casa de... Para ver mejor este parque. ¡Wow! ¿Están viendo eso que está allá? Es el vampiro este... ¡Wow! Bueno, por lo menos no nos dio tanta pelea como el primero. De verdad. Fue un dolor de cabeza, pero lo matamos rápido. Aquí hay alguien. Las cosillas que podemos buscar por acá. Mira, aquí hay un padre. Esta broma aquí no se puede entrar. Seguramente después ya podremos entrar. Se va a encontrar algunas cosas. Vamos a ver la población de acá. ¿A quiénes encontramos? Todavía nos falta. Nos falta gente que encontrar por acá. No, pero por lo menos conseguimos este paso por acá, donde podemos cortar caminos. Uf, hemos cortado bastante camino.
London has brought so much pain to me. Why don't I want to leave?
Y este es el amigo. Sí, este es el amigo. De este lado no hemos caminado. A ver qué hay por acá. Diga que esta es... Ah, no, esta es otra persona.
Good evening, miss. Can I help you? I'm a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
I am Karina Billow. I don't need any doctor. The rats. Where are the rats?
Miss, you don't seem well at all. Are you afraid of rats? Has one bitten you?
No, it's me who bites them. Tasty, juicy, disgusting rats. I can't stop eating them. Help me, please. Help me to disobey the voice.
What happened to you?
The rats. The answer hides in their little crunchy bones. Their juicy, tiny brains.
Miss Billow, please, try to concentrate. Why do you worry about rats so much?
The voice in my head. He forces me to do so. Drink their blood, he said. Eat their flesh.
Do you feel compelled to obey that voice, Miss Billow? Even if you're loath to submit to it?
Yes. Please. Help.
Tell me about the voice in your head. Who is it? Can you describe it? Is it someone you know? Someone you met?
Keep your mouth shut, he said. Don't ever speak about me or I'll abandon you. Help me, please, doctor.
Ok. La tiene...
What is the local news hereabouts, Miss Billow?
Shadows. Shadows hunting shadows. Whispers in the dark. Pestilence. Suffering. Death.
Tell me about yourself, Miss Billow. What do you do for a living?
Oh, I'm hungry. Need to eat. Have you got something for me? Blood, perhaps? Can you give me blood, Dr. Reed?
Don't you remember who you are, miss? What you did for work?
I was strong, proud. I campaigned for good causes. But that was before. Before. It does not matter anymore. I'm so hungry.
Está cautivada, la tengo cautivada. ¿Una pista? No tengo ninguna pista.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual recently?
Infection. Infection. The rats carry it, I heard. Rats. Rats, rats. Many rats around that big house. Funny smell, too. Dead flesh.
And where is this house?
West of the park. Not very far. A big house with no sound, no light, no life left.
Tengo que ir a investigar esa casa. Vamos a ver si...
Can I help you, Miss Billow? I'm a doctor.
The rats! I need them.
Ok.
I must go now. Goodbye, Miss Billow.
Ya será después que la intenté ayudar. De verdad está... Tutu. Está medio loquita. Por acá. No hay nada. casa de quién será.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Jonathan, is that you? I did not know you were back in London. Oh, my dear Johnny, I'm so sorry for your loss. Mary was such a sweetheart.
Thank you, Venus. May I come in?
I was going to bed, actually.
I'm sure you can spare me a few minutes. For old time's sake.
Of course you may enter, Jonathan.
Claro, pasa.
You
No
know
hay
that you're
problema.
always welcome here. But at this hour of night...
Vamos a revisar su casa un poco. Vamos a ver qué tienen por acá de bueno. Está por comer o tomar el té. Por aquí hay sodio. Vamos a desvalijarla. Harina, unos chemiles. Por acá para la alacena. Quinina. Oh, pues sí, estaba pendiente. Ay, mira, unos chelines por acá sueltos. Ajá.
I
¿Qué
remember
más
when Mary
tenemos
came
por
here with her husband
acá?
and her son. They were
Tenemos
such
esta
a
sala por
beautiful
acá.
family.
Vamos. Mira, tenemos también un segundo piso. A ver qué hay allá en el segundo piso. Vamos a subir. A ver. Si conseguimos cosas buenas. Por acá. Esto se abre. Sí. A ver qué hay acá.
It's locked.
Esto está cerrado. Tenemos solución de sodio. Mira, tenía su opio. Se fuma su pitico ahí de opio para una carta perdida, pero no me mira, aquí está. Esta era la puerta que creo que no se podía abrir. Esa puerta no se podría abrir. Aquí ya tenemos todo registrado. Hasta acá. Gotamina. No hay más nada. Y por aquí. Listo. Ahora vamos a hablar con ella. A ver qué nos dice.
It's a pleasure to see you again, Venus.
So you returned from the war in one piece too. Thank God. My Clarence is back home too.
How is the old rascal?
Probably outside, chasing ghosts and chimeras. Clarence has changed a lot since he returned from the war, you know.
Ay, es la esposa del amigo que conseguimos ahí tocando las puertas. Creo que es él.
How have you been since the last time we met? How long has it been? 3 years now?
I've done my duty, like all British women. You have no idea what it was like to wait for months without knowing if I'd still be a wife or a widow.
I understand. Luckily, this part of town has been saved from the worst of the bombings, from what I've seen.
Yes, and it's also true about the epidemic. The flu has killed here too, of course, but not on such a large scale as in other parts of town.
Have you noticed anything peculiar about the neighborhood recently?
You mean except for your return to town? No. Oh, and again, Jonathan, please accept my condolences for your sister.
Thank you, Venus. It was so sudden, and I've been so busy, I haven't spoken to anyone about it.
I wish I could have assisted at the funeral, but, you know, it's been so quick. And what with the epidemic in the streets?
There's no need to apologize, my dear. It's normal, considering the circumstances.
No, it's not. I am sure that Clarence has not even thought to present you his condolences. He is too busy with his penny dreadful stories.
Why is my return so surprising?
It's more an unexpected happy end than a surprise. You and Clarence, back from the war. You have no idea how hard it's been for me.
Que le gusta, pero se casó con el amigo.
Venus, why do you worry so much about your family's reputation?
Everyone laughs at Clarence now. And they avoid me because they believe I share his insane opinions. I'm a leper in my own community.
Ok. La tratan mal. Pobrecita. Aquí no tenemos pista. Tenemos que ir buscando.
I'm investigating the source of the epidemic in this district. Have you noticed anything unusual?
The McPhersons. I heard they locked themselves in their own house.
They could just be afraid of getting sick.
Perhaps you're right. But if I were you, I'd pay them a visit. A big house, reachable through a courtyard, to the north of the railway bridge.
Okay.
Goodbye for now.
Ah, mira, se me estaban quedando unos chelines por acá. Permisito que
At least
tengo
you
unos
survived
chelines.
the Great War.
Y
I
por acá
feared the
también.
worst.
Tranquila que solamente estoy buscando algo por aquí. Ok, ya no hay nada más por acá. Bueno, creo que lo vamos a ir dejando por acá. Ya hemos avanzado bastante. Estamos conociendo todas las personas de West End. Y de verdad que ya se está armando una historia bien concreta con esta nueva área que estamos investigando. Ya iremos a donde nos han dicho que tenemos que ir, a donde esa familia, y investigar un poco más. Bueno, si te ha gustado todo este video, por favor, si no te has suscrito, suscríbete y regálame un like, deja tu comentario, qué más podemos hacer, qué te gusta, deja tus preguntas, yo voy a estar respondiendo y a la brevedad posible de lo que vayan colocando ahí mismo. Entonces, bueno, vamos a dejarlo hasta un próximo video. Nos vemos, hasta luego.